Hey, what's up guys, it's Rob, hope you're doing really good. So this is a follow-up video I've been intending to make for quite a while, but I've had a little bit of a break from YouTube, mainly so because not long ago I've been away for almost a month and I actually got married to my now beautiful wife. So I had a little bit of time away and I've been doing some other projects, but yeah, I have been for quite a while meaning to make a little follow-up to the last video I properly posted about guitar, which is the Enya Nova Ghost Sonic guitar. I got sent this guitar quite a while ago now by the lovely people over at Enya, and honestly, I wasn't expecting it to become as big a part of my life as it did, so that's why I want to make this video, because obviously the last video was just a demo and talking about all the features, but now I've actually had time to sit with this guitar and use it, not just obviously for a demo, but just in day-to-day life as a guitar player and stuff like that. And it's got some more uses than I originally intended or originally thought, so that's what I want to talk about in this video. Obviously the main features of this guitar, it's got a carbon fiber body, but the main thing is the onboard speaker that we have there. You can see that there's a speaker built right into the guitar. And if you've seen my last video or seen any other videos about this guitar, you'll know that people are basically saying that this speaker, it sounds really good. It sounds unexpectedly good. Obviously it's not a huge speaker, it's not massive, but for what it is, it sounds really, really awesome. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the actual guitar itself because I explained it all in my last video, so go and check that out. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to know more about the guitar itself. But today, as I said, just going to talk about things that I actually like about this guitar. So let's get into the first one. The onboard speaker, why would that be useful for somebody? Obviously, it means you don't need an amp. It means you don't need pedals, you don't need any of these other things. You can just literally grab the guitar, switch it on by pressing this button here and play, and you've got sound coming right out of it there. And if you press this button here, you know you get 4 different tones that you can save in the guitar. You can edit them on the Enya app and then save them, customize them, everything like that. So you don't need an amp depending what kind of sounds you want, but for the most part, your clean, your crunch, your gain, and your lead tone, you can do all of that with the guitar itself. So super handy if you just want to quickly pick up the guitar and play and you don't want to faff about with amps, pedals, everything like that. Also really good for traveling. If you're going somewhere where you can't take a lot of things with you, but you can take one thing, you can take the guitar itself, you've still got all of your sounds. And this has been really handy for me as a guitar teacher of all things, because in my office where I teach my guitar lessons, I only really have one rig to plug people into. And for the most part, I'm plugging my students' guitars in so that when I'm playing, if I want to play through an amp, I have to keep switching the wire from their guitar into mine. Whereas since having this, I don't need to do that anymore because I can have them plugged in through my computer and all my pedals and plugins and everything like that. So they're getting guitar sounds. And now with this one, all I've got to do is just grab this guitar, turn it on, and it's loud enough as well so we can both jam. Me and my students, they're going through my amp setup and everything like that, and I've just got the guitar. And together, it sounds really good. But do you know what the surprising thing was? Is that more of my students want to use this guitar than their own. I've got other guitars in my office. Sometimes I have my Telecaster, I have my Strat, depending what day it is and everything like that. But for the most part, people turn up, and if they don't bring their own guitar, which actually happens quite a lot, because a lot of my students come straight from school, so they don't have their guitars with them, and they come to my office and the first thing they want to grab is this guitar. So it's been super popular with my students and everything like that, and it's not hard to see why. It's a comfy guitar to play, it feels nice, feels a little bit unique, as well as feeling good and everything like that. It sounds good, as I keep mentioning, the speaker sounds good too. So either way, whichever way round we do it at my office, I can have both of us with guitar sounds, either someone plugged in through my amp setup or we just got the guitar itself with sound coming out of it. So that's been super, super useful. But what about some other things? Well, aside from teaching guitar lessons, I actually play the guitar in a wedding function band. I talk about this quite a lot on my channel. And I've also mentioned quite a lot on my channel over the past few years that one of my main things and my main aims with my wedding band performing is the actual rig itself. I want to be as small and practical as possible. I don't want to be taking loads and loads of things to a wedding gig. I used to take a massive stack of amps to weddings, and I could see venues' faces and people's faces when I'd turn up with these amps, and they're just thinking, what is this guy doing? But it's all I had at the time. My rig now is really small. My rig now, I've basically got it down to one guitar and one pedal. The pedal being my multi-effects pedal from Sonic 8, which I've already demoed on this channel. But two things I can play a gig. And I'm still kind of keeping in my mind, what if something failed? What if my pedal board failed and I got to the gig, my guitar was fine, no sound out of my pedals for whatever reason, my power dies or anything like that. If I took this guitar, I can plug it direct into my pedal board and use it as a regular guitar. I don't have to use the speaker. So suddenly it becomes more than just a guitar with a speaker. It's just a regular guitar which I could run through all of my preset sounds or anything like that. But what if the worst should happen? I get to the gig and my pedal board doesn't work. So I can plug this guitar directly into the PA system rather than into my pedal board, literally just a normal jack out into the PA system, and the inbuilt sounds in the guitar, I could then use those to get me through a gig. Because all I really need when I'm playing a gig is a really good clean tone. A really good clean tone will sort me out for most of the night. If everything went wrong, I could get through all of the night with just a nice clean tone. Obviously that's not good for all of the songs that we play, but it would do. But by pressing this button, I can then flick onto the other sounds as well. I can make myself a nice clean tone, a nice overdrive crunchy tone, and a heavier tone if I want to, and a lead tone, everything like that. And I could use this guitar with all the inbuilt sounds straight into the PA, and that would be absolutely ideal. It would save the day. I haven't yet taken this guitar to a gig, but that's because it's only just getting into gig season for me. Wedding band gigs are more of a summer thing. It's only just getting into the summer busy season now, so I will be taking this guitar to a gig. Maybe that's a future video as well, demonstrating using this guitar at a gig with the inbuilt sound instead of my pedals. I would be quite interested to try that out, so if you're interested in that also, let me know and we'll see if I can get that one going. The only downside to that, or the only thing that would make that not the easiest thing to do, is actually switching between the sounds, because obviously whilst I'm playing, I can't always be then trying to go between playing and pressing the button. So if there was a way to get that at my feet, so I could switch the sounds with a foot controller or something like that for the guitar, that would be absolutely ideal. I don't know if Enya offer anything like that at the moment. If not, they might have that soon. Or if there's different versions of this guitar that have that on offer, who knows. But those two things that I've just mentioned are really what make this guitar extremely usable for a musician like myself. It's not just a gimmicky guitar. It's not just something that's got a little bit of a interesting feature about it that you might use a little bit here and there and then never use again. It's genuinely usable in day-to-day life as a musician. And one of the main things I hear, especially from students, I'm teaching people all the time, and I actually have a conversation with a lot of my students where I say to people frequently, do you practice with an amp at home? Because I'm a firm believer that when you're practicing the guitar, especially if it's electric, you should always be playing through an amp where possible, because you want to hear how it actually sounds, because a lot of people don't play through an amp for various reasons. One, they don't want to be too loud. One, the main reason, they can't be bothered setting their amp up. They can't be bothered plugging everything in and getting the right sounds before they play. So they just pick up their guitar and practice. But what happens when you don't practice with an amp is that you don't get used to the level of control that you need to play with an amp, if that makes sense. So suddenly it might sound fine when you're playing it by yourself, but then when you plug in the amp, you're getting all the extra string noise, it's louder, you can hear all the gritty details in it a little bit louder and everything like that, and it puts people off. Whereas if you practice with an amp more, you get used to dealing with all that stuff too. So always practice with an amp. But as I said, people are lazy, myself included. Sometimes I want to pick up the guitar and play it. I don't want to plug everything in. So something like this, again, would be a better option because the amp is in the guitar. All I've got to do to turn it on and set it up is just press this button and I have sound. So it's just really usable for a lot of different musicians at different levels. It's not just aimed at beginners. It's even good for more advanced musicians also. So that's just a follow-up video I've been meaning to make for a little while. Sorry it's taken me so long. I've also been quite ill, as my voice is only just getting a little bit better. So thanks for bearing with me on the videos. But yeah, really like this guitar. And if you're interested in one of these things and checking it out for yourself, there will be details in the description below, either a code to put in at checkout or a link and everything like that. It will be an affiliate link, so that helps me out a little bit as well. But I really recommend this. So thanks so much to Enya Music for sending me this guitar to test out and use. It's awesome. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Don't forget to leave this video a like, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Take care.